This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, educating the leaders of our community for over 20 years.
Welcome back, Southwest Florida. We're so delighted to have Dr. Domino here. When I saw that name, I thought about some Domino pizza, man. How many times did you get that joke?
Quite a few times.
Okay, let's bump you in.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
It's good to get you here for your inaugural bump.
Good to be here.
Again, we want to let everybody know if you missed this entire interview, you can catch it on the Lee Pitts Live YouTube channel. Dr. Domino, the name, can't wait to go back to prison. I mean, that name right there is a catcher. Tell us how did you come up with that name and what's thought behind that?
Actually, I didn't come up with the name. I have a friend who was a World War II veteran. His name was Lester Lemke. And one time, he's the godfather of prison ministry. He's deceased now, but he's quite a guy. So I said to him, Lester, I'm thinking about writing a book about prison ministry. And he says, well, John, I can't wait. I can't wait to go back to prison.
Wow.
I said, Lester, that's a great title of a book.
Oh, really?
And he gave me the idea.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thought of writing a book, you just mentioned that. What gave you that idea of, hey, let's write a book about prison ministry?
Well, Lee, I'm kind of like you. I love to interview people. And this is a series of interviews of book. This book is about prison ministry, and I interviewed prison ministers to find out what they feel, what they think about prison, going into a prison, how they feel about dialoguing with the prisoners, and how they feel about the results they get.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I noticed when I was reading the book is that in your interview process, you were able to get them to be really straightforward in telling the truth about what their thoughts were. So I thought that was really good for the book. And as I was moving through the book, it was kind of hard for me to put it down because it was so interesting, the different perspective that each minister had as it relates to the prison ministry. Elaborate on that, if you will.
Well, for myself, I've never been in prison myself except to do some work in a jail one time when I was welding some prison bars and doing some carpentry work and plumbing work. But I always felt, as a teenager, I was a sinner. I deserved to go to prison several times because I was not a good kid. In fact, my initials, JD, juvenile delinquent. Mm-hmm. That's what was picked up by my friends when I was going to high school. So I wasn't a good kid, and I felt I deserved to go to prison. So these kids, a lot of them just got caught up in the at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they got put behind bars. And so I say kids because a lot of them are younger than I am.
Mm-hmm. Now, the heart and soul of the prison ministry is?
Love, listen, love. That's the heart and soul through Jesus Christ. Anyone can be saved, and anyone could come to his table and become a new person with Christ.
Do you find that because people are incarcerated, that they're more open or less open to being saved or becoming more spiritual?
That's the amazing thing, Lee. I went into prisons, and I was expecting to find this stereotype of being a prisoner. These are regular people, just like you and I. They are ready to communicate, and they are ready to talk. In fact, a lot of them, they want to speak, and they want to let their feelings out, and they dialogue quite well.
Mm-hmm. What is your 1 minute prison testimony, Christian testimony?
Well, my 1 minute Christian testimony, we have a prison minister who went into prison, and he didn't really want to do it, but he did. And then when he said the results were amazing, he said that there were 2 gang leaders that were going, walking towards each other at the end of the ministry, because we were in there for a weekend. And these gang leaders were walking towards each other, and in the past, they were fighting each other. This time, they were walking towards each other, and the ministers were thinking, wow, what's going on here? And the prison guards were going, oh no, something's going to happen here. They hugged each other.
Really?
Yes, and they're still friends, and they proclaimed that Jesus Christ is the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Now, I noticed even when I first met you that you have this kind of charisma about yourself, this commitment, this dedication. you befriend people really easily. How does that help you in what you do in the prison ministry, having that type of personality?
Well, it does help tremendously because people in prison as well as in real life, they like the dialogue. Kind of like you and your show, that's what this book is. It's a series of interviews. And we're talking about men and women, black and white and Hispanic, and they all say the same thing about prison ministry. I can't wait to go back to prison.
Right. What does it do for you personally to make this a part of your life, the prison ministry?
Well, as a Christian, we're all asked to, by the Holy Spirit and by the gospel, to become disciples of Christ and get other people to become disciples of Christ. Now, if you go into prison, it's a miracle because you're in there for a short period of time. Like this was a weekend. We went in and we talked about 3 days. And the changes that you see, amazing. Now, we say prisoners, it's a captive audience. At the end of 3 days, 80 to 90% of these prisoners are giving their lives to Jesus Christ. Some are long-term, others fade by the wayside, but most stay with it, and that's the miracle.
Yeah, outstanding. Now, I understand you've written other books. We got your contact information on the screen.
Yes.
And Rick, just letting you know, we're going to shorten that second break, the last break. What other books you got, and when they go to that contact information, they can get all the details on it, right?
Yes, I have a book called Mentoring to Go. It's how to mentor in churches, and so I'm glad to talk to anyone, be it in a ministry or a church, how to mentor the other people. In fact, the pastor you had on right now, we're going to be talking about how we can start a mentoring program in his church.
That's excellent. Well, we need more people like you out there, and I really enjoyed the book, and I encourage people to get that book, okay?
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, stay right there. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Dr. Domino and all of the fine people out there who are involved in the prison ministry who are doing it.